Hey everyone, welcome back to Two Stall Garage today. I don't know if you've seen the last video, but it's freezing outside right now. We're inside the shop. We're gonna be doing some painting. We've got a total of 13 parts to paint at the end of the day today. These have already been sandblasted. They've been prepped. Not sandblasted, but grit blasted. So we're gonna throw some other parts into the blaster there. And we're gonna come back, we can get them ready for paint, and then we're gonna paint them. We'll talk about what we're gonna use for paint next. Oh, there's a cat outside. We got to rescue it. It's Crystal. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take you right to the blasting cabinet. We're going to use the grit blaster. I'm going to put you inside of it so you can see exactly the process. And we'll be back right after that. Okay, so you were able to see the blasting process. It is nothing fancy. It's the Harbor Freight grit blaster. I think the cabinet itself was under maybe $190. I think it was $189, something like that. Got it on sale. And so here is the product ready. This is freshly blasted. So we're gonna use some metal primer, and then we're gonna go ahead and shoot some gloss black paint over them. I'm going to show you exactly what we're going to be using here. Now for the mufflers, we're going to be using some high heat stove paint, very comparable to exhaust paint. I've had really good success with it. For this right here, we're going to be using some gloss black Rust-oleum farm and implement paint. This is a heavy duty paint, or at least it claims. I've had really good luck with it. Rust preventative. And check this out. There are bottles of spray paint or cans. You can get this stuff, it's about $6 a can, I think, and it's called Rusty Metal Primer. Otherwise, you can buy some self-etching spray paint from like AutoZone or O'Reilly's. That's going to be about $8 to $9 a can. For us, we use this red oxide metal primer. You can apply it right to the metal. This can right here, I think, was about $16. It was $9 before everything went up in price. But I'm going to show you the process of putting this right on the metal. And it's going to turn out nice. Remember, you don't have to sand blast or grit blast if you don't want to, or if you don't have the capability. Let me see if I've got our spray gun around here. Okay, here you go. If you want to use a spray gun, we've got this Harbor Freight special, and don't be put off by that. $29, I think. It came with an air regulator, pressure regulator. I've used this for most of the primer jobs that we do. And then when I go to the finishing jobs, everything is so disorganized right now. I'll use the HTE. It's the Black Widow Spectrum gun. And we did an ATC 70. We did the ATC 70 a few months ago. More like a year ago, almost exactly. And for that, I used the Rust-oleum farm and implement paint right out of the can, the rattle can. I also used the spray guns as well. On our next project, I'm going to try to use as much cans as possible. Not quantity, but just for the job, I'm going to try to use the spray cans. Show you guys that it will hold up. Just prep it appropriately. Clean it off real good, it'll stick. And we'll see how that goes. It should be just fine. But today, we're going to go ahead and get spraying. So let's get this loaded up. And we're going to hit that stuff over there as well. Okay, we're going to paint these. We're going to do these separately. This is going to get the stove paint, exhaust paint. This is going to be all the gloss black. But we're going to paint what we got over here first. What we got over there on the other side of the room is already been primed. There we go. So with the skid plate, etc., we used self-etching primer, then we used regular automotive primer, and now we're just going to hit it with the gloss black. For what I just put over there in the corner, we're just going to do the Rust-oleum primer, the metal primer, the red oxide metal primer. We're going to put the gloss black on right over that. So we'll be able to see how the two compare, how they finish out. Yeah, it should be fun. It's cold in here, so I'm going to turn up the heat for just a few minutes. Just going to go ahead and put that right there. It's really cold out, like I said, so I'm not sure how we're going to go about doing this exactly with the venting system. Our venting system is normally at least 5 fans out at the garage door. So, when we're doing an automobile, we have 10, and we have these side windows open here. Something that we're working on towards the future, slowly but surely. So thanks for watching us as we do it in a very much deal with what we have type of way. So here's the black. We've got a used black stir stick. It's just fine, just clean it off. We did just buy this stuff. I think we had it shook or shaken. We're gonna stir it around here. All right, I actually just ran out of paper towels, the shop towels. So that's not good timing, but we're gonna do the best we can to not use up. Trying to not make any mess at all here, but obviously there's gonna be some that pours out. When you pour, make sure you pour it over the front, or the side would be best. Don't pour it over your labels. It's gonna run a little bit. And we're just gonna take this and drop it right into our paint mixing bucket. Okay, and the ratio that we wanna use is we wanna use 4 to 3 to 1. This goes 4-1-1, 4-2-1, 4-2-2-1, 5-1-1, etc. So we're actually gonna take this, we're gonna use this side right here. You can see it's a little uneven, so we're just gonna do our best. It's not really a big deal. Just gonna dump some paint in. We're gonna put some acetone in to reduce it, and then we're gonna put some hardener in, just a little bit, and we're just gonna make sure it's the right consistency. So I'll show you how we do that. Don't be too concerned about this. Once you get the hang of it, you're golden. Let's just not make a big, let's let this drip off. Yeah, I'm gonna have to use a paper towel here, I guess. Look, Mom, no gloves. So there's our black paint. Not a whole lot, but we're gonna reduce it by quite a bit. So that's gonna make sure that we get a little more volume there. Let's take our lid and put it on our paint. Don't be intimidated by this. I was definitely intimidated back when I started doing this, because I would always use a can, you know, a rattle can, which is just fine. Don't let anybody tell you you can't use that. You see a lot of people that do that and it turns out very nice. You see some people that do it and it turns out pretty terrible, but it just depends on how much work you put into it, what type of paint you use, if it's gloss or if it's flat, etc. Okay, we'll move this back to the other bench. Okay, so to show you how I do the consistency here, and this is something I learned from others. So we're gonna lift it up and we're gonna count to 8. And I'm gonna use the seconds on the GoPro. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And as you can see, it's still draining. That's way too thick. You're gonna get air bubbles. When you're spraying, it's not gonna drain down through the hopper fast enough. Here's where we add our reducer. If I could tell you a good way to do this without spilling, I would. But I don't know how. Let's see. I'm just gonna try it. You ready? It's not gonna happen. Oh, silliness. Isn't that silly? Get it all over your hands, by the way, without wearing gloves. It's the best way to do it. Good thing it cleans and protects. Let's put a glove on here. Too little, too late. And let's try it again. It's just when the can is so full, it just goes everywhere. How's that for a scientific pour? All right, so right now it's gonna be sludge. You're gonna wanna mix it up with your reducer, which is the acetone. All right, so we got it mixed. Let's check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I just want it to be basically done. There we go. Another scientific pour there. These things, you would think they could design the can with a little bit better spout. If you guys got any tricks, let me know so I don't keep spilling, you know, a quarter of the product out all over the floor or this table saw all the time. All right, are we ready? When we put our hardener in there, it's gonna reduce it just a little bit further even. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that's perfect. We're gonna go with that. Got the gun right here. Got a regulator on there. Here's your spraying pattern. This is small pattern to wide pattern. So that's wide, and that is as skinny as it comes. We're just gonna back it or move it forward just about a quarter off the smallest pattern. And here we're gonna be all the way closed. Here we're gonna be all the way open. Here's air, here's paint. Here's air, here's paint. So this is actually probably about 65-35. That's okay. We're gonna go with that. Okay, before we're done, we're gonna take our hardener, Catalyst Hardener, Magic 8-0950-4. Here's the UPC, just in case you're curious. This is what we use. 4 parts paint, 3 parts reducer, 1 part hardener. It's all clear inside. That's all we're gonna use right there. If you use any more than that on these types of sprays where you come back multiple times, you might get a little bit of hardening in the gun. Like I said, if it's a car or truck, that's totally different. Then we're gonna use more hardener. We're gonna make sure we're spraying the gun in between the flash time, etc. Make sure it doesn't harden up. Let's go put this back on the bench. Okay, I know the lighting's not the greatest. We're gonna go ahead and pour this in. You can see it coming right up the sides. It's all in. Get every last drop. Almost every last drop. See it right there. Should turn out really nice. Let's get our cover on. We've been waiting to do this for a long time, haven't we? I'm glad we're here. Don't pull your trigger, otherwise it's gonna start coming out. Okay, we've got a regulator over there on the Craftsman air compressor, the red one. Of course it's red, it's a Craftsman. We got it set to 50 PSI. We're gonna have this set to 25 PSI. And that's what we're gonna about run. We might run a little bit more, maybe 27. But it usually works really good right there at that. So we've got our disposable filter on here. It's a few dollars. This goes up to 60 PSI, so we're at 50. We've used this one for a few jobs already. So if you take care of them, you don't go over that PSI, you do get a decent amount of use out of them. Okay, a quick couple of things before we get started here. First off, Crystal is back in the house. Took her back inside, so she's not in here breathing in fumes. We got everything in the gun. We're just gonna do a couple test fires with air first. Make sure we're set at about 25 to 27 PSI. Right after that, we're gonna do a couple test fires with paint on the wall, and then we should be good. We'll be right back. When we come back, we'll be painting these. We'll give you a good view of it. So don't be intimidated yet. It's sitting in there. It's got hardener in it. The paint's just sitting there. It's been about 5 minutes already. It's gonna be okay. All right, well, as you can see behind me here, we've got finished product. You can see the shine on this skid plate. It just turned out really well. Now, I didn't flip over the skid plate because I'm actually going to do the rattle can Rust-oleum farm and equipment paint, or farm and implement paint for that on the other side. I didn't want to flip it over and mess up the finish on this side. I was able to flip this over, this as well, but I'm going to do a little finishing up with the rattle can. As far as our foot pegs go, this is going to be the upside. I should have painted the bottom side first, but I think I still would have left them and then finished the other side with the spray can. Just simply enough, I don't have the right setup here to paint everything 360. So you do what you have to do. And I know some of you guys and gals probably do the same. Swinging on over to this side, we've got 6 pieces. We didn't get to the rear swing arm. We're going to do that in the next video. And then we're going to get this on the trike. We can start putting our axle in, get our diff put together. We've got our grommets ready to be put back in, and we're working our way. We still got some parts, but it's coming together. Here's the diff all tore up. We got some bolts. We got to do some plating on these. We don't have to. We could paint them. I'm still kind of up in the air about that. If you just leave them like this, wire wheeled off, they're going to rust right away. Here's the rear pinion. We're going to take that old bearing off. We're going to put a new bearing on. Pretty neat stuff. We sandblasted the diff covers and housing, but I'm going to do it again when we come up to paint them. So I'll give you one more look. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for hanging out today. I appreciate it. We're going to have another one of these wheeler videos coming up really soon. So I hope you have a wonderful day. If you want to, you can check us out on Facebook at 2 Stall Garage. We're on Instagram at 2 Stall Garage LLC. And if you want to, feel free, of course, hit that subscribe button. We like seeing the new subscribers. So thank you guys so much. We'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.